Hey everyone, I'm Blast, and today I want to share a concept chapter I think would be cool. So, Jujutsu Kaisen, or what I'm going to refer to as JJK, is a shonen manga slash anime about a guy named Yuji Itadori that becomes the host for an ancient evil curse known as Sukuna. The series is an action, dark fantasy with minor horror elements, and after the Tokyo Ghoul chapter for Dead by Daylight, I feel like anything is on the table at this point, so I want to see if I can make this work. So I'm Blast, I make videos about Dead by Daylight, what else, Marvel Rivals, sometimes I'm trying to do more, Fortnite, pretty much anything I want to talk about. I do game reviews sometimes, very rarely movie reviews if the movie affected me and I remember it enough, and yeah, I just talk here, and sometimes I don't talk properly, so that's why the channel is called Blast Can't Talk. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into the video. So, first up, we have my survivor of choice, Nobara Kugisaki. I chose Nobara not only because she's my favorite character, but because she has been shown to be one of the more vulnerable characters in the series, while still having a strong curse technique. She doesn't have plot armor, but she's still very strong in her own right, and she's a very popular character, so I would choose her as the survivor. Nobara Kugisaki, a confident grade 3 Jujutsu sorcerer with an unshakable character. Her personal perks, Straw Doll Technique, Cold Logic, and Pained Focus allow her to hold off the killer's pressure and make tough decisions. Her first perk, Straw Doll Technique. When under extreme stress, you can improvise ways to slow down your enemy. After struggling in a killer's grasp for 30, 25, 20% worth of progress, Straw Doll Technique activates. When activated, you can press the active ability button to slow the killer by 20% for 6 seconds. Straw Doll Technique then deactivates. It cannot be used when holding items or when in chase with the killer, or when you are in chase with the killer. So this perk is in reference to her innate curse technique, which is the Straw Doll, where she basically gets a piece of you and she nails it to the doll. You're basically stuck. You're her plaything. And of course, I don't want the killer to freeze. I want it to be a slowing effect because I like those kind of perks. I think they're a fun, like, give and take kind of relationship. So the take in this part is that you yourself cannot use the perk while in chase. However, let's say you're working on a generator and you notice the killer is tunneling another survivor. You could stop working on the gen and slow down the killer from catching the prey. So it only works on other survivors, and it only activates after you struggle a certain amount in the killer's grasp. So basically, you have to be hooked first for it to even work. So that's just something I'm brainstorming. I wanted her to utilize her technique somehow. It is going to be kind of weird when other survivors run the perk, but whatever. Like I said, this is a concept. This is all for fun. Anyway. And just a side note, Nobara canonically can do her ability without the Straw Doll, and I think even her hammer. So, just in case Behavior isn't interested in doing new animations. Nobara's second perk, Cold Logic. Jujutsu sorcerers are not gods and have their limits. Sometimes a choice must be made. When the exegates are powered and there are only 2 or less survivors left standing in the trial, Cold Logic activates. During this time, you heal and unhook 30, 35, 40% faster. Exegate opening sounds are completely silent. So I personally love the idea of perks either having 2 separate effects, or that you have a choice of how you should use a perk. That's pretty much the whole fun of using perks in Dead by Daylight, how you're going to use it. You just save other people or run away like a coward. So anyway, that's basically why I made up this perk. You can either go save the remaining survivor, because it only activates when there's 2 survivors in the trial, and that includes you, of course. I mean, oh my god, it's just you and one other survivor. There, I'm done. Anyway, so it's meant to incentivize either going and unhooking the other survivor and healing them, or just leaving. But I suppose you could also go open up the exit gate and then go and unhook the survivor. So really, it's just a matter of where the killer is and how you're going to utilize that perk. And I think that's a fun idea to work around with. So that's why I made the perk like that. And how it applies to Nobara, Well, the quote that I use in the perk says, "There are only so many seats open in my life, and I can't let myself be swayed by anyone who's not in one of them." That is the quote after her and Yuji Itadori, they beat those two curses, and they were like possessing live people. They killed people, and she says that line basically saying that if a person's not in my life and they die, I can't waste my time crying over them, which is pretty cold. So, Nobara's third and final perk, Pained Focus. After cleansing a Hex or Dull Totem for 6, 5, 4 seconds, you are given a tremendously difficult skill check. If succeeded, the Hex Totem or Dull Totem is instantly cleansed. If boons are equipped, then the totem becomes blessed. If failed, you become injured and gain the broken status effect for 40, 35, 30 seconds, and the totem remains unaffected. So this perk is basically adding a mini game to the Dull and Hex totems, because just holding the button there can be boring, and then if they have Thrill of the Hunt, it could take forever to destroy a damn totem. So this is to kind of like incentivize going out and hunting those totems, because personally I hate Hex totems. I don't even like running them as killer unless it's like that one Oblivious perk, I forgot what it's called. Whatever, I'm rambling on. So next I want to talk about cosmetics. So Nobara's default look will of course be the most famous one, which is her Jujutsu Tech uniform, which is just the black or dark blue uniform with the tights and the little brown shoes. That will just be her default. But other outfits that could be used is a casual outfit, a winter coat outfit, the end credits outfit, and a baseball uniform outfit. I think would be good choices. For legendary cosmetics, I chose Yuji Itadori, Megumi Fushiguro, Maki Zenin, and Junpei Yoshino. Those are all fan favorite characters. Well, I don't know if Junpei's a favorite, but I like Junpei as a character, so those 4 characters. Even though I don't think Yuji would work, but then again, they have a Chris legendary cosmetic for Leon. He's super strong, so I don't see why Yuji couldn't be a legendary skin, or maybe even a survivor himself. I don't know. Just whatever. I'm rambling again. Jesus Christ. Anyway, on to the killer. So for the killer part of this concept chapter, I chose Ryomen Sukuna, and I'm naming him the Disgraced One. His power is called the King of Curses. Special item, Sukuna's Fingers. When a trial begins, the Disgraced One spawns with 5 fingers already consumed, and the auras of Sukuna's fingers are revealed to the Disgraced One for 8 seconds. There are 10 other fingers scattered across the trial and can be eaten by the Disgraced One or by survivors. Fingers grant survivors a cursed energy aura that acts as a temporary health state and protects from the Disgraced One's special attacks for 1 hit, or 1 health state, rather. When survivors lose a cursed energy aura, the finger is then added to the Disgraced One's power. Every 5th finger consumed by the Disgraced One transforms him and provides a new cursed technique to be used. To select a cursed technique, hold ability button 1 to open the cursed technique selection. At 5 fingers, Dismantle is available. Dismantle is a ranged slash attack that has a windup and can hit multiple survivors with a single slash. At 10 fingers, Cleave Spiderweb becomes available. Cleave Spiderweb can be aimed at the ground to make any survivors within 12 meters scream and become inflicted with a Deep Wounds status effect. At 15 fingers, Divine Flame becomes available. Divine Flame is a longer wind-up attack that creates a blast area upon impact. Divine Flame can break through cursed energy auras and injure survivors. At 20 fingers, Domain Expansion Malevolent Shrine is activated and spawns in the basement of the map, or the main building rather. Malevolent Shrine allows slightly faster cooldowns of cursed techniques and allows Cleave Spiderweb to become a ranged attack when aimed at survivors. Survivors can destroy the shrine and the Disgraced One can rebuild it with the rebuild action. So, Sukuna's powers are basically like that of the Lich or Vecna, where he's able to choose different abilities to use, except in his case he has to purposely work to get those powers. He has to gain his fingers and attack survivors, keep pressure. So think of it like a tier-up character like Nemesis or Myers. with a mixture of multiple abilities, like the Lich specifically, or even Dracula. But I haven't played Dracula personally, so I don't know how he works. But like that, multiple powers. That's what I have in mind. And these powers may not be how they work in the manga or the anime, so I'm trying to like have a compromise. Like Divine Flame, I'm pretty sure isn't a blast impact kind of effect in the manga. I think it like sets the whole like area on fire. So I'm changing it to work in Dead by Daylight, because the entity is known to manipulate with powers and strength. Like Freddy Krueger would be OP, and he's garbage dookie water in the game. So bear with me, please, with this concept. So anyway, let's get on to the perks. The Disgraced One's first perk, Binding Vow. In the entity's realm, binds can be made in order to ensure victory. When a survivor is hooked, Binding Vow activates for 60 seconds. Within this time, press the active ability button to spectate a random survivor's POV. While spectating, you gain the undetectable status effect, and the survivor suffers a 15, 20, 25% penalty to healing, unhooking, generator repair speed, cleansing, and blessing totems, and are affected by the blindness status effect. I always thought it would be funny for a killer's power, or maybe even a perk, to allow the killer to spectate your survivor, to see what they're doing, to see what's up, and to basically, it's supposed to mimic how Sukuna possesses Yuji, where he could hear and he could see and through his body, and that's kind of the vibe I'm going for with this perk. The Disgraced One's second perk, Divine Dogs. Twin canine Shikigami with powerful noses for tracking and lethal fangs and claws for devouring curses. Once the exit gates are powered, Divine Dogs activates for 70, 80, 90 seconds. During this time, a Shikigami dog is summoned at each exit gate, so that's 2 in a match. When survivors enter a 14-meter radius of the Shikigami, it creates a loud noise notification and the Shikigami will go into defense mode. If a survivor touches the exit gate switch, the Shikigami afflicts nearby survivors with the Oblivious status effect for the remainder of the time limit and lingers when they leave the radius. So this perk is in reference to when Sukuna takes control. I don't know if I'm spoiling things here, but whatever. When Sukuna possesses Fushiguro and takes control of his Divine Dog ability, the Shadow Dogs. So I wanted to use that. Originally I wanted it in the power, but I realized it'd be more fun as a perk maybe, because I think another idea would be if perks conjured like familiars or NPCs to help out either the survivor or the killer. So this is what I'm trying to do with this perk. The Disgraced One's third and final perk, Reverse Curse Technique. Within moments, you are able to adapt to anything that tries to overpower you. Anytime your aura would be revealed to survivors, you gain the undetectable status effect and can see the auras of survivors who would see you for that duration. Both effects linger for 3, 4, and 5 seconds. So Sukuna, he's able to outsmart enemies on a whim. Now, on one hand, that's bad writing. On the other hand, it's kind of cool. But if you know what happens to Gojo, that's kind of what this is based off, where like Sukuna just pulls things out of his ass to defeat people. It's really weird. Whatever. I got spoiled quite a bit reading the wiki to make this killer power and his perks. So yeah, damn. JJK, whatever. Whatever. Anyway, on to cosmetics. So for cosmetics, for Sukuna, I think his innate domain kimono should be his default. So the white robe and the pushed up hair and where he appears as Yuji, that should be his default. But maybe he could have a true form outfit, the one with the 4 arms. Or even Yuji's Jujutsu Tech uniform, like how he looks when he fights out. Oh my god, I can't even remember. But basically just Yuji's uniform. And maybe even give him a gi outfit, because I know he wears one in the manga. I don't know if he wears one in the anime though, because I only watched season 1 of JJK. So everything that I'm getting, all the information I'm getting is from the manga. So I think that's pretty much it for Sukuna. So let me know what you think about the concept I made. Let me know if it's overpowered. Let me know what you would change about the perks, what your take on a JJK concept chapter would be. Let me know. This is all for feedback, for discussion, because I haven't talked about Dead by Daylight in a while, and it's been a long time since I made a concept chapter. So let me know what you think. I don't think this is my best, but it is my most creative. So hopefully something comes out of that. Looking forward to the anniversary stream. That's gonna be pretty cool. And I'm pretty much stuck on Dead by Daylight. Not Dead by Daylight, of Marvel Rivals currently. But I have been playing quite a bit of Fortnite recently because of the new Star Wars season and whatever. Just letting you guys know what I've been up to. I think that's about it. So if you like the video, make sure to leave a like. Comment, like I said, comment what you think about the concept. If you think JJK would even fit, you know, things like that, whatever. And subscribe if you want to see more videos like this one. And I think that's about it. I already said all the cringe YouTuber stuff. So see you in the next video, guys. Bye bye.